At section 2 where Shirode had met Gorima, and Gorima had taken her back to Holy Mother's house. I think it was was it Kali Puja night? It was one of the night worships. Anyway, and we finished that section. Yes, she had sent Shirode over to Gorima's place, and then Gorima said, come on, we're going back over to Holy Mother's, to the Odbodhan, because I'm going to worship. I want to do pranams. And she did worship to her as she would to Kali Puja. So we'll start on the second paragraph on page 199 if you're following. A year prior to my becoming a widow, I had one day cut and dressed a number of papayas and prepared a curry with them. The juice of the papayas caused an itching sensation on my fingers, which became very much swollen, and the skin of my fingers cracked within a few hours. This created such a bad sore on my hand that various kinds of medical treatment failed to cure it. I suffered from it for 12 years. I had to use a spoon for taking my food. Now that's at that time in India, that would have been extremely odd. All of the people ate with their fingers. At times, the condition would subside, but then it became aggravated. But when it became aggravated, the contact of my hands with water made the sore septic. Though I had been in close association with the Holy Mother for the last 1 year, I had never shown my hands to her. I had decided never to say anything to her about this impermanent physical body of mine. But I had kept this chronic disease a secret from her, lest it should somehow infect her too. I avoided visiting her when the disease became aggravated. One day, however, I went to see her when the sore was rather bad. On reaching her place, I avoided making pranam to her lest she should notice the sore while I touched her feet. But this thought made me quite restless. Just then, I saw that a widow took the dust of Mother's feet, wrapping her hand with the loose end of her sari. This gladdened my heart, and so I too took the dust of her feet, wrapping my hand with the end of my sari. No sooner did I salute her than the mother asked in surprise, "Daughter, why did you take the dust of my feet, wrapping your hand in your cloth? Is there anything wrong with your hand?" I was now in a fix, and my heart began to quiver. I thought, Mother could have questioned the other woman, but instead of asking her, she has asked me, "Why did you take the dust of my feet in this way?" So I replied, "I have a disease on my hand." Then she said, "Let me see." On seeing my hand, she lamented so deeply that I was astounded. She said, "Oh, dear, you are here so long and your hand is in such a condition. Though I am your mother, I wasn't aware of it. I feel so sorry, my dear." Then she asked me how long I was suffering and how I had contracted the disease. I had to disclose everything now. Then the mother said, "Dear, I am in such a state that I remain absorbed within myself. So I fail to observe you. You perform puja with this hand. That's why the disease is lingering. Well, come with me. The flowers and leaves offered to the Master and the Charnamrita, the holy water of worship, will be removed and thrown into the Ganga. Come quickly." I followed her to the other room. She said, "Look, the kamandalu contains the Charnamrita as well as flowers and leaves. Dip your hand up to the wrist into it." The kamandalu is the water pot that you see in worship where they fill the vessels. I did accordingly. Then she added, "Your hand will be free from the disease, but avoid handling fish, meat, onion, and garlic as far as practicable. You cannot keep completely away from them. When you handle them, there may appear some eruptions on your hand. Perform the Master's worship daily. As soon as you notice some eruptions, apply the Master's Charnamrita on them. It will cure you. Had you trimmed your fingernails on the day you cut the papayas? I replied, I don't remember. She said, you must have pared your nails and then come into contact with the papaya juice. These two together are responsible for your trouble. In the afternoon, the mother said to the other women, none of you, including your husbands and children, should cut your nails with the nail cutters of the barbers, for it may lead to some bad infectious diseases. My daughter here has contracted such a disease on her hand, but by the will of the Master, it will not linger. On that occasion, the mother spoke of the various dangers involved in eating together with others from the same plate, in lying on the same bed with another, and in using somebody else's cloth and bath towel. She also told us how a person's good or bad physical condition is translated to the body of another. Strange enough, I had never told the mother how I passed my days, and that I was compelled to cook fish and meat also. But she said, you will not be able to avoid them. Whenever you handle meat and fish, you will have eruptions on your hand. But as soon as the Master's Charnamrita is applied, you will get cured. It was a matter of pleasant surprise that the day on which I dipped my hand in the Charnamrita, from the very next day, I got permanently cured. Whenever I touched fish, meat, or such other food, I got eruptions on my hand, but they disappeared in an hour's time after applying Charnamrita on them. When I had become cured of this disease, I said to her, Mother, I haven't come to you to get my bodily ailments cured. You can't get rid of me as easily as this. The mother laughed and said, Child, your body is also my body. I suffer if you do not keep good health. It was my resolve that I would never ask verbally or even mentally for any physical comfort or monetary or other material gain. I was afraid that the mother might appease me by bestowing these things. Whenever I complained that I could not get any result from my worship, the mother used to say, I am your guru. I know whether you are making progress or not. How can you understand it? You'll achieve everything. You'll achieve everything. Most obstacles in worship are not external. They are internal. They will gradually fall off one after another by taking the Master's name and by meditation. Do your duty. Don't pay attention to whether the blemishes of the mind are persisting or not. She also used to say, the branch of a coconut tree drops off by itself at the proper time, but one has to exert much to tear off the branch before the proper time arrives. Likewise, everything will come about at the proper time. Then I asked her as to why I could not become absorbed in japa and meditation. She said, you are doing all that is necessary. Everything is going all right. My child, it is a great good fortune for you to have come here, a widow at a tender age. You won't have to do much. All that you have to do is pay obeisance to God at the end of the day. If a man firmly takes hold of one idea, he doesn't have to perform any other discipline. You will achieve everything spontaneously. I was married when I was 10 and became a widow at 15. Taking refuge at the holy feet of the Mother, I had said to her, Mother, I am surrendering myself at your holy feet. Kindly protect me. The mother had assured me, saying, "There is nothing to fear. The Master will lead you by the hand." Not a single word which came from her lips proved to be untrue. Now I am nearing 60. The Mother's holy hand has touched my head and hands have touched her holy feet. Thus I have become blessed. Holding to her words, there is nothing to fear. The Master will lead you by the hand. I have believed this long life without ever being haunted by the desire for enjoyment. I have experienced only bliss, nothing but bliss. Except on the day the Mother gave me initiation, she never instructed me as to what I should do. She used to say, "The Master will do everything." We may not understand this, but her words are true. Even if one does not call on the Master and the Mother all the time, they protect their children from dangers and misfortunes. I have firmly realized that without their grace, none can conquer worldly attachment by simply displaying bravado. The Mother had said, "One should not go to see a deity empty-handed." Therefore, I used to carry something or other when I went to see her daily. One day she said, "You have no money. Why do you bring me these things every day, my child?" "It will be enough if you bring a myrobalan," which I don't know what that is. What is it? It's a fruit, okay. "I eat through the mouths of all of you, dear. Your eating is as good as my taking food. How much I have eaten since coming to the circle of the Master." My second brother, who was seriously ill, came to Calcutta for medical treatment. He was to be operated upon by Dr. Sarbadikari. All the members of our family had come to Calcutta. I had come to understand that the surgeon was not sure of the survival of a patient after this kind of surgical operation. I took my brother to see the Mother. It was Sunday. The male devotees used to make pranam to her in the afternoon. While on the way, my brother purchased a garland of flowers to offer at the Mother's feet. It had escaped my notice. On reaching there, I began to brood that my brother would salute the Mother along with a crowd of people, and I would not be able to stay nearby. Would the Mother notice him at all? While pranams were being made, I remained within the room. When the pranam making was completed, the Mother called Radhu and the rest of us. She removed a large quantity of flowers and garlands which had been offered at her feet. Taking out a garland of tuberoses from among them, she presented it to Radhu, saying, "My daughter's brother has given it to me." Then she said to me, "I have noticed your brother." I was surprised, for my brother had not come there earlier. I began to wonder whether my brother had brought that garland of tuberoses. Among the many garlands, I could see only one of that kind. I said to her, "Mother, it is because of him that I wish to keep myself away from worldly life. I wept bitterly in your presence, only with the prayer of shunning their company. If he dies, I shall have to bear the burden of his family. Mother, because I am in the midst of worldly people, I am not likely to survive, even though I have taken refuge at your feet. Now what will happen to me? Please tell me what I am to do." The Mother replied, "Even if your brother survives this operation, he will die one day, will he not? And if he survives, what good will he bring to you? So why should you worry so much?" I thought, then perhaps my brother's life would not be spared this time. But that very moment, the Mother said, "Don't be afraid. The Master is there. Keep a photo of the master in the operation theater where your brother will be operated on. He will protect him. After hearing her say this, I returned home and disclosed it to all the family members. Then all began to say, "No more fear. He has touched the living goddess Kali. There is no reason to fear." My brother came round by the grace of the Holy Mother and returned to his native place. When my uncle and elder brother, who had seen the Holy Mother, were told that in seeing the Mother, they had actually seen Kali herself, they accepted the idea and began to express the view that they had seen and touched the feet of Mother Kali, who was worshipped by Sri Ramakrishna himself, and that they would not have to go elsewhere for their spiritual welfare. I was the first among our family members to go to the Mother. Now, by her grace, almost everyone in our family has taken refuge at the holy feet of Sri Ramakrishna. One afternoon, I was at the Mother's house when a widow with a rosary of basil beads around her neck and wearing a cloth printed with the names of God arrived to see the Mother. Before her arrival, the Mother had assumed a solemn attitude. When the widow advanced to salute her, the Mother said, "Don't touch my feet. Salute me by touching the floor." But she ignored these words and saluted the Mother, touching her feet. The widow was amazed to see the photo of Sri Ramakrishna and other things and said to me, "Do you see how beautiful it is? What do you show her?" The Mother asked, "Know that she worships him whose photo you are pointing to." Next, pointing to me, the widow asked the Mother, "Is she your daughter?" The Mother replied, "Yes, my child." The widow asked next, "How many children have you?" The Mother said, "Beings all over the universe are my children." Then the woman asked, "How many children have you given birth to?" The Mother replied, "My husband was a man of renunciation." Unable to understand its import, the woman pestered the Mother further with questions. I too was about to lose patience. The Mother said to me, "You explain these matters to her. I can't do it any further." Then I went on, "You know nothing about the Mother I see. Why then have you come to see her? Those who come to the Mother do not simply see and salute her. There is much to know about the Mother. There are so many books about her. You can know all about her from many devotees too. Had you known a little about her, you would not have dared to ask her so many questions. You had better tell me what you've got to say. Please don't disturb the Mother." Still the woman continued, "My daughter visits this place. She brought big radishes here the other day." The Mother said, "Many persons present a lot of things. Can I take a note of all of them? I don't know your daughter." Thereafter the Mother left, and the Mother said to me, "Bring a little water and wash my feet. Fan me a little." I obeyed her. One of my cousins was suffering from lacrimal fistula, and to get it operated by an eye surgeon, he, along with his parents and many other members of our family, had come to Calcutta. I took him to the Mother before his operation. Earlier, I had told the Mother about it. Approaching the Mother, I saluted her and, pointing to the boy, said, "Mother, this boy's eye is to be operated on." The Mother said, "Let me see his eye." Taking a look at his eye, the Mother observed, "Nowadays, my child, we see various kinds of diseases and also physicians specializing in them. Formerly, people did not suffer from so many ailments, nor did they know so many kinds of medical treatment. Take, for example, the case of Radhu. She had so many ailments and had to pass through various kinds of treatment. Besides, I made promise of offerings to various deities for her cure, and yet she does not keep well. The Master alone knows what is in his mind. On hearing her, I laughed a little and reflected within myself, how ignorant we are about the mother. From her words, it would appear that Radhu is her all. Thus she keeps her real nature hidden. None could understand her from her movements. Only he could recognize her, to whom the mother had revealed herself. Regarding the boy, the mother did not say anything after seeing his eyes. We left after saluting her. Anyway, the eye operation was successful. Later, my aunt, before her return to her native place, came to visit the mother one morning along with her children. Sitting with her legs stretched, the mother was then cutting fruits for offering to the Master. They went straight to the mother and saluted her. The mother said to my aunt, "Are they all your children?" My aunt replied, "Yes, mother, they are mine." The mother said, "Very well. Oh, how devoted they are. All of them have prostrated themselves. My daughter knows everything about this place. Still, she has brought them here at this inconvenient time. It is now time for worship of the deity. I have no time now to talk with you even for a while." My aunt said, Shirode, objected to our coming here at this time, but as we have no other time, we have come to see you now. Mother, we want to take Shirode along with us to our native place for some days. I seek your approval. The mother said, "What harm is there in taking her to your native place? But it will be nice if you bear her traveling expenses when sending her back." "We shall certainly do so," said my aunt. She, along with others, then got into their carriage. One girl, known to me, had never seen the mother. Her husband did not like such visits. But one day, after her husband had left for his office, she pressed me to take her to the mother and bring her back before her husband's return. I said, "The mother takes rest at this hour of the day. You cannot see her now." She said, "Let's go no matter what happens." As soon as I entered the mother's house along with her, I saw Golap Ma having her meal. I went to her with the idea that we would see mother after she awoke. On seeing me, Golap Ma burst out, "How queer are your ways! Why have you brought her at this time of day? Aren't you aware that this is the time when mother takes rest?" I said, "Why are you scolding me? Am I so foolish as to go to the mother before she wakes up from sleep?" After a while, I heard mother calling me, saying, "Come here, daughter." Approaching near, I saw her standing by the side of her bed. She asked, "Who is this girl, dear?" "Did Golap scold you because you have come at this hour?" "Well, it is the Master's kingdom. No rules and regulations are valid here. Here the door is open to all. Whenever one gets the opportunity, one may call on me. Don't take the scolding seriously, my child." We paid obeisance to the mother and left. I told Golap Ma, "Have you noticed with what a longing heart people come to see the mother? Why only the mother? People want to see you too. But the doorkeepers of the mother's house, as you are, you want to push them out. My mother does not belong to one or two persons. She is the mother of all." Laughing, Golap Ma said, "Well, you have won." The affection Golap Ma, Gauri Ma, Lakshmi Didi, etc. had for us is indescribable. Lady Dr. Pramod Datta of Calcutta, a relation of mine, hailed from the same place as myself. Her husband, too, was a doctor. They were Brahmos. One day, Dr. Pramoda Datta expressed her desire to see the Holy Mother. She very much pleaded with me to escort her to the Mother's house. So one day we were ready for the visit. Instead of wearing her professional robe, she put on a sari with a red border. She did not even wear shoes. She sprinkled a little Ganges water on her head before she started for the Mother's house. Going to the first floor in the Mother's house, one could see in the room adjoining the stairs a photo of the Holy Mother in meditation posture. As her eyes fell on this picture, Pramoda Devi inquired, "Whose photo is this?" I said, "It is the Mother's." She gazed at it for long and remarked, "She's Radha herself." I felt inclined to laugh. For being a Brahmo, how could she utter this? Brahmos do not believe in personal gods. On the first floor, we met the Mother and saluted her. After a while, the Mother asked Sarla Didi, "Bring that boy and get him examined by her." Now, I do not remember whose child it was. As the Mother uttered these words, Pramoda Devi quietly asked me, how could she guess that I was a doctor? The child was brought before her. The 4 p.m. sweets were offered to the deity, and the Mother distributed the prasad to all except Pramoda Devi. I could not but feel embarrassed by this. Now, Pramoda Devi was repeatedly telling me, she gave prasad to all, but why not to me? I said to her, "Why don't you ask the Mother?" I did not dare to give her the prasad that was in my hand. Later, Pramoda Devi said to the Mother, "Mother, you distributed prasad among all, but why didn't you let me have a little of it?" The Mother said, "You are a Brahmo, dear. How could I give it to you? How could I give you prasad unless you ask for it?" Pramoda Devi said, "Give me a little prasad." The Mother, too, had kept apart one rashagola, and she now gave it to Pramoda Devi. The latter tied the prasad on the loose end of her sari, saluted the master, and returned home. She said to her husband, "Look, the place where I had gone today is a heavenly abode. The person I saw and whose feet I touched there is verily Radha. I have brought a little prasad for you. I shall give you only if you accept it respectfully." Dr. Datta said, "What does it matter to the universal Mother if an insignificant person like me does not eat her prasad?" Saying this, he took the prasad in his palm, touched it by his head, and ate. Pramoda Devi, too, described to him her experiences in detail and said repeatedly, "Today I visited Vrindavan and saw the holy feet of Radharani. I have been blessed." Does anyone have anything they want to discuss now or make a comment on? We'll continue to read a little more. If there are no questions or anything to discuss. When my aunt and others left for their native place, I did not accompany them. Back at the native place, my uncle wrote me a letter saying, "I feel very sorry that you have not come. It fills my heart with great joy when I think that you have dedicated yourself to the feet of the Divine Mother. If you ever happen to come to your native place, do so after surrendering at the feet of the Mother your mind, which is the root of all troubles. Only then will you be free of worry." I read out the letter to the Mother. On hearing its contents, the Mother said, "Is the mind the cause of troubles only? Even when you try to attain Brahman, you shall have to carry the mind with you too. When you attain to it, none of them will be there. At the present stage, the assistance of the mind is very necessary. It is the pure mind which shows man the path." I wrote to my uncle these words of the Mother. On this occasion, the Holy Mother said this also: as you turn the direction of the wicked mind, the mind itself will be able to grasp the chosen deity. However, you have nothing to worry. The Master is holding you by the hand. In every circumstance, he is always with you. I deeply felt many a time in my life the immense strength behind those words of the Mother. Especially good to remember these words right now when we're going into another lockdown. We don't have anything to worry about. The Master is always holding us by his hand. One afternoon there came some women. One of them asked the Mother, "Mother, many people say that Gauranga Mahaprabhu is not an incarnation of God. Is that true?" The Mother said, "People may say so, for it is not easy to comprehend a human being as an incarnation of God. In brief, if everybody could comprehend him as an incarnation of God, he would not have had to preach divine love at the cost of being beaten up." While saying this, tears rolled down her cheeks. Soon after, she added, "Can everybody recognize an incarnation? One or two persons only can recognize him. How much suffering do they undergo for the liberation of human beings?" Even when the Master used to vomit blood, he never stopped speaking. He was all the while worried about the well-being of people. There is a statement of Gauranga Mahaprabhu: "Come, repeat the name of Hari, and you shall have delicious soup of magur fish and the embrace of a young woman." The Mother explained the context of this statement, also what people took it for and its real purport. At length she said, "What do you need an incarnation for? To anyone, his own guru is far superior to even an incarnation of God. Try to understand this and keep steady." The Mother used to keep a close watch over the conduct of the women who lived with her at Bagbazar. She used to express her annoyance even if a metal pot or bowl fell from somebody's hand. None of them was permitted to talk without some plausible reason. One day, Radharani, with her tinkling anklets on, was going down the steps hurriedly. On hearing the jingling of the anklets, Mother stared hard upward in such a manner that I became apprehensive. As soon as Radharani appeared, the Mother said, "Radhi, are you not ashamed? My sannyasin children are staying downstairs, and you are running along the stairs with anklets on. Tell me what they will think of you. Take off the anklets right now. Men and women who are here have not assembled for fun. Every one of them is doing spiritual practice. Do you know the consequences if their practices are disturbed?" As the Mother said these words, Radhu took off the anklets and threw them towards the Mother. Fearless though she was, we all became frightened. Another day, Radhu, after her bath, was combing her hair and making some designs by pressing her hair with a towel. Seeing this, the Mother said, "What are you doing? You think you look very beautiful by such means." "Far from it. All this seems ugly to me. I have never braided my hair myself. Gordasi used to come from time to time and braid my hair. Then again, I could not retain the braid for long and undid it soon. These days I find you behaving otherwise." Golatma, who was nearby, said, "Mother, you are Muktakeshi." Indeed, Muktakeshi, one of the names of the goddess Kali. It literally means a woman with locks flowing. Therefore, what will you do but keep your hair unbraided? One day, the wife of a munsif, a judicial officer, came to the Mother. The women present there were discussing the World War. The Munsif's wife asked the mother, "Everybody says that the war is going to extend over here. If so, what will happen to us, mother?" The mother replied, "These are but rumors. Why should the war spread up to this place? The warfare is not as intense there even as it should have been. Why should it then extend over here?" Many others present spoke variously on this subject. The mother sat quietly, seemingly disinterested. Famine was raging throughout the country. The Ramakrishna mission was rendering much relief to the famine-stricken people. One day the mother narrated the famine conditions very vividly. She spoke of the distress of people at various places, the amount of money the mission was spending to redress their sufferings, and the way the monastic members of the order were working. It seemed to me that she was feeling in her heart of hearts all the suffering of the world. Off and on I used to call upon Lakshmi Didi at Dakshineshwar. She often spoke to me in confidence. "Tell the mother that I do not like to stay here. The nieces who attend upon me here don't like any devotees to come to me. But I cannot stay at a place where there are no devotees. Tell the mother that I shall go to Vrindavan and that I shall take you along with me." I told mother everything. The mother said, "See, daughter, Lakshmi goes mad at the sight of devotees. That's why those two girls, nieces of Lakshmi Didi, feel annoyed at the coming of devotees there. They should not be blamed, dear. Tell Lakshmi I shall go to her one day. Besides, you should not go to any place in her company. If she comes across a devotee on her way, she would stay there for a week. Someone has to be always with her to guard her. She wants to stay in Vrindavan. People are so pestered with monkeys there. Will she be able to stay there?" I passed on to Lakshmi Didi everything the mother had said. I further added, "You are now in such a mental state that if you were to be sent anywhere, some special arrangements are to be made for you. I hear you two have the same experiences as the master." No sooner did I utter this than Lakshmi Didi began to rebuke me, saying, "Does it happen to a human being what happened to the master? I am the victim of a disease. That's why I cannot move out from here." These days, Lakshmi Didi behaved like a child. I think we will stop there because we're going to start on another episode of occurrences. Any conversation or anything to say?
Interesting that there was a problem with the monkeys even then in Vrindavan.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
When Kalidasi and I were there in 2010, the monkeys, they had us in a cage in our guest room, and the monkeys were free to roam. And everyone who walked outside carried a great big stick. I'm serious, it was unbelievable. But they're all Hanuman. So we don't do anything about the monkeys. Anyone else have anything, any comments or questions?
Angela says pranams to all from YouTube.
Who does?
Angela Colton.
Well, Angela, it's good to hear from you. I don't see you on this screen, but I don't know what I'm doing, so. Sometimes I see people on the screen, sometimes I don't. Okay. And Diane, you're doing well? Okay, good.
Yes.
Good.
I'm wondering about Lakshmi Didi. Was she just so devout that she liked the devotees? What was her thing?
She adored them. She wanted to spend all of their time with them. Like when Ramakrishna would see a group of people singing hymns to, singing bhajans to the Lord, and he would get off his carriage and start dancing with them. She was unpredictable because she was having ecstatic moods at that time.
It's genuine,
Yeah.
spiritual.
Yeah,
Okay.
genuine spiritual things. Okay, Dottie, how are you and Lito doing? Type me an answer, but I can't see it. Vanya will read it to me.
Is she typing? We are doing well, thanks.
Okay, good. I know that with the severe protocols being enforced again in California, Oregon, and Washington, it affects all of us on the West Coast. Emma, are you on the West Coast too?
Yeah, I'm in slow right now.
Oh, you're in.
I'm going to
Okay.
Cal Poly. I'm going home to Santa Barbara this
Okay. Be careful
weekend. Yeah.
and wear your mask.
Oh,
Okay. We all have to remember that when we go out. Okay. If there's no other discussion or questions, I think we'll end with a chant. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.